गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। आज एक विशेष तिथि, क्या विशेष तिथि? वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबाजी महाराज का आज देवभक्ति समानंद प्रभु का प्रधान शिष्य श्री रसिकानंद गोस्वामी प्रभु का भी आविर्भाव थी, देवभक्ति थी। हमारा गुरुपाद पद्म नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट विष्णुपाद श्री श्रीमान भक्ति द्वैत माधव गोस्वामी महाराज का ये भी 39तम तिरुभाव तिथि। वैष्णव का आविर्भाव तिरुभाव दोनों तिथि जीव का मंगल के लिए। आज गुरुदेव का यहाँ इस तिथि में यहाँ समाधिस्थ किया था। ये सेवा गुरुजी ने मुझको ही दिया था। मैं ही सब व्यवस्था करने का निमित्त बना। पूज्यपाल वन महाराज, सिद्धांति महाराज, पुरी गोस्वामी महाराज, कृष्णदास बाबाजी महाराज ऐसा उपस्थित ऐसा एक किया था। इसीलिए शरीर की असमर्थ होने से भी यहाँ आया और जाके वहाँ समाधि में प्रणाम करके आया। भजन कुटीर में मंदिर में प्रणाम करके आया। जैसा भी हो एक किया। और जो वैष्णव पंजिका है उनके लिए प्रभुपाद ने परिवर्तन किया था। किनके लिए? कोई जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी को उन्होंने निर्देश दिया था कि वैष्णव का आविर्भाव तिरुभाव तिथि में उनको स्मरण करने के लिए एक नवद्वीप पंजिका निकालना। कैसे तुम ज्योतिष शास्त्र में उत्पन्न है, इसलिए तुम्हारा लिए सेवा है। उस निर्देश अनुसार उन्होंने एक किया। और महाप्रभु का जन्म स्थान उन्होंने ही निर्देश किया। इसलिए बोलते हैं निर्दिष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। तो ज्यादा बोलने को तो टाइम नहीं। दूसरी रसिकानंद देव गोस्वामी, उनका भी बहुत विरोध किया था, लेकिन वैष्णव विनयी होने से भी उनका शक्ति पगला हाथी को लगाया था, तो उन्होंने हाथी को मंत्र देके शिष्य बना दिया। पूज्यपाद संत गोस्वामी महाराज का कृपा से उनका आविर्भाव स्थल दर्शन करके आया था। उनका केशियाड़ी मठ का 50 साल पूर्ति उत्सव उपलक्ष्य उन्होंने ये किया, क्या किया, जो वहाँ एक बड़ा उत्सव मनाया और वही उत्सव में पुरी का राजा को बुलाया तो वो लोग पहले फेल हो गया। तो मुझको किसी ने कहा संतोष समझना ये आप कसाद राजा का परिचय है, आप जब इच्छा करें इसको व्यवस्था कर देने से ये हमारा शिष्य लोग उत्साहित होगा, ऐसा बोला था। उसी हिसाब से ही तो व्यवस्था किया, इसलिए मैं गया था। नगर संकीर्तन सुबह निकाला, शाम तक राग बास तार ये सब लेके जहाँ जहाँ कहीं हुआ वहीं प्रसाद का व्यवस्था, ऐसा व्यवस्था हुआ। वही वैष्णव जो है रसिकानंद गोस्वामी, उनका रेमुना में समाधि है। जो लोग रेमुना गया खीरचोरा गोपीनाथ मंदिर में, उनका पीछे तरफ कोई उनका समाधि। आज एक जगन्नाथ नवद्वीप, जो लोग नवद्वीप परिक्रमा करता है वहाँ जाओ। अच्छा, हमारा गुरु जी का मार्च में ज्वाइन 1927 और उन्होंने संसार त्याग करके मठ में आ गया। पहले सेवा करते थे गोपन भाव से, कौन भेजा किसी को मालूम नहीं होता। इस वक्त सामान बाजार से खरीद करके पुणे से भेज दिया। हमारा मठ का प्रति श्रद्धा नहीं था, लेकिन आचरण देखते आचरण देखते आचरण देख के श्रद्धा, यह आचरण सही नहीं था। जो आदमी उनका विरुद्ध आचरण किया, उनका प्रति भी उनका विद्वेष नहीं था। तो देखकर हैरान हुआ। जाना आना करता था, लेकिन कभी चरणामृत भी देता नहीं था। लेकिन वो देखकर ही श्रद्धा हुआ। श्रद्धा होने का बाद उनका चरण आश्रय किया। आस्ता आस्ता हमारा जो दुष्संस्कार था, हृदय ग्रंथि एक दिया 11 साल। और एक वैशिष्ट देखा। क्या वैशिष्ट? 1955 में वो चैतन्य मठ परिक्रमा किया और वो परिक्रमा में वे पाठ करते थे, भक्ति संबंध वहाँ उनका नाम है सागर महाराज का गुरुदेव पर्वत महाराज। उन्होंने इसको एक पाठ करते थे, गुरु जी इसको रीड करते थे। 1955 में वहाँ से निकाल कर 56 से यहाँ पर नवद्वीप परिक्रमा किया। नवद्वीप परिक्रमा कभी बंद नहीं किया। उस प्रकार से ऐसा त्रिपाल से परिक्रमा किया। बारिश आया, त्रिपाल उड़ गया। उसके बाद झोपड़ा बनाया, फूस का झोपड़ा। उसके बाद आहिस्ता आहिस्ता वो बिल्डिंग वगैरह बनाने में मजबूर हुआ। नहीं तो बिल्डिंग बनाने के लिए रुचि नहीं थी। ऐसे ही वो चला है। 1956 में हमने और गौर पूर्णिमा में नवद्वीप आता था। हमारा कभी बंद नहीं किया। एक साल एक्सीडेंट के लिए बंद किया और एक साल हैदराबाद में महाप्रभु का आविर्भाव उत्सव मनाया। इन 2 साल छोड़ के बराबर इसमें आता था। यहाँ भी राष्ट्रीय यहाँ आया था। इस साल भी गुरु जी का कृपा से, महाप्रभु का कृपा से, वैष्णवों का कृपा से इस साल भी आया। आइंदा में आज सीखेंगे नहीं सीखेंगे ये कह नहीं सकता, लेकिन अब तक तो आया। कल नवद्वीप धाम परिक्रमा का महत्व बताया और आज को इसमें इसलिए कोई गुरुदेव का समाधि मंदिर दर्शन करने के लिए गया, मंदिर दर्शन किया, उनका भजन कुटीर दर्शन किया और वही भजन कुटीर में रहकर गोस्वामी महाराज उन्होंने बनाया नंदन आचार्य भवन, उनका जो मठ, वहाँ रहकर ये बनाए। राजावर गोस्वामी महाराज उनका मठ, वहाँ ही रहकर मधुसूदन गोस्वामी महाराज उनका मठ बनाया। तो सारे कोई वहाँ ही चैतन्य गौड़ी मठ नहीं। जितना यहाँ जो था संत महाराज, उन्होंने भी हमारा मठ में रही करी जाऊंगा। उनका मठ था अय्यापुर में, वर्धमान डिस्ट्रिक्ट में। वहाँ से गुरु जी गया था वहाँ विग्रह प्रतिष्ठा उत्सव में। उसका बाद उनको बुला के यहाँ लाया। ये यहाँ क्यों ग्राम में रहना, धाम में रहना, महाप्रभु का धाम में, उदार धाम, यहाँ ही रहना सर्वोत्तम, यहाँ ही सब। इसलिए यहाँ आया था और यहाँ ही स्थान बनाया। उनका समाधि, उनका मंदिर, ये सब जैसा भी हो, गुरु जी का यही वैशिष्ट था। जो वैष्णव का वह प्रीति, प्रभुपाद को पूछा था उनका प्रिय सेवक जो सर्वप्रथम मठवासी परमानंद प्रभु, उनका माध्यम से पूछा कि ये लोग सब रात दिन मेहनत करते हैं मठ मंदिर के लिए, इनमें से किनका सेवा उत्तम है, ऐसा सवाल किया। तब प्रभुपाद ने इसका उत्तर में बताया, जिनका जितना वैष्णव में प्रीति है उनको इतना ही सेवा उत्तम। एक बात में उत्तर दिया था, उनको सेवा ऐसा उत्तम से। इसलिए वैष्णव में प्रीति होना, ये समझना कि हमारा कुछ हुआ। नरोत्तम ठाकुर ने बोला, वैष्णव के देश मात्र प्रीति न जन में लो। और एक वैशिष्ट जब से भी हो, ये नवद्वीप परिक्रमा जो होता था, चाहे झोपड़ा में हो, तिरपाल का नीचे हो, कुछ भी हो, सबको एकोमोडेशन देते थे। जिस रोज तीसरी रोज परिक्रमा, दूसरी रोज बेलपुकुर जाते थे, तो हमारा ड्यूटी था परिक्रमा में नहीं जाना। तो ऐसा जाने के लिए निषेध नहीं करते थे, सिर्फ यही परोक्ष भाव में बोला, तुम्हारा वहां जाने की जरूरत है। मैंने बोला यहाँ क्या काम है? तो बोला यहाँ एक शेड बनाओ, तिरपाल से शेड बनाओ, क्योंकि आदमी सब आ जाएगा तो कोई यहाँ रहेगा। तो ऐसे ही उसी अवस्था में भी सबको आदर करते थे। और एक शिक्षा दिया, जो धाम परिक्रमा करने के लिए आता है, ये हमारा सेवक है, इनका सेवा करना जरूरी है। हम लोग संकोच करता था, धूप में महिला में सब तो कोई मंदिर नहीं था, इसमें लोग कहाँ ठहरेगा, बारिश वगैरह आ जाए, ओला गिरे तब कहाँ, तब भी परवाह नहीं, हम लोग जहाँ रहेंगे वहीं रहे। तो कभी भी ऐसा विपर्य हुआ नहीं। 10 मिनट के लिए हुआ तो तब भी अनुकूल देखते थे, क्योंकि गर्मी है, एक बारिश करके ये ठंडा बना दिया, उस वक्त स्वेटर पहनने पड़ा, अच्छा ही हुआ। भक्ति कंपान हर बातों में देते, जब वहां से आया तब विचार किया या अच्छा नहीं, तब भी बोला ये अच्छा किया, स्वाधीन भाव से प्रचार कर सकता है। यात्री वगैरह को रखने के लिए इच्छा नहीं, तब भी अभी तो कोई निषेध करने वाला है नहीं, और इससे क्या हुआ, जो लोग परिक्रमा में इंटरेस्ट लेता नहीं, आदमी को लिए झंझट कौन करे, वो लोगों को भी करने की मजबूरी है, वो लोग भी परिक्रमा शुरू किया, नहीं तो हम लोग परिक्रमा ही करते। कुछ बात श्रीधर गोस्वामी महाराज का थोड़ी लोग तब भी वहाँ करते थे, मधुसूदन महाराज लीडिंग करते थे, और कुछ बाद केशव महाराज जी, उन्होंने भी परिक्रमा करते थे, चौथ का ताल लेकर, तभी परिक्रमा बंद नहीं किया, परिक्रमा में छेद दिया नहीं, मठ का सेवा के लिए हो तो अलग, नहीं तो कभी परिक्रमा में छेद दिया। ऐसा ऐसा सभी दूसरी बन गया, बिल्डिंग वगैरह बना, ऐसा हुआ। इसलिए वो लोगों की याद अवश्य ही आता है, ये कैसे एक परिक्रमा किया। लोग आया तो गुरु जी ने बोला हमारा तो यहाँ स्थान अच्छा नहीं है, लेकिन आप लोग कृपा करके रहने से हमारा सुख ही होगा। लोग जाने नहीं चाहते। ऐसा ही ऐसा वहाँ भी योगपीठ में वहाँ भी कुछ नहीं था। वहाँ महाप्रभु का आविर्भाव उत्सव में वहाँ धर्म सभा होता था, तो बारिश धूप में लोगों का तकलीफ होता है तब भी जाता नहीं। जब महाराज कथा शुरू करते थे जाता नहीं। सबको एक करना। लेकिन आजकल पुराने लोग देखने मिलता नहीं, सब चला गया, नहीं पढ़ाया। इसलिए एक को से टच किया, शाम को इसको विस्तृत आलोचना करेंगे। जो अगर होगा नहीं, आप लोगों का तकलीफ होगा, इधर काम हो रहा है, इसीलिए धूप से और ठंडा से बचने के लिए ये शेड बना रहा है टेम्पोररी, जैसे लोगों का तकलीफ ना हो। क्योंकि जो लोग आया है ये सभी हमारा सिद्ध है, इसीलिए सिद्ध है। ये महाप्रभु का धाम परिक्रमा करने के लिए आया, और यहाँ धाम में रहता हूँ, इसीलिए आप लोगों का सेवा करना ये हमारा कर्तव्य का बीच में आता है। यही विचार। और ये भी देखा जो लोग विद्वेष करते हैं उनको भी सेवा किया। जो हमारा अनुकूल है उनको सेवा करेंगे ये बात नहीं, जो विद्वेष करता है उनका भी सेवा। कभी कभी वो काम में मुझको निमित्त बना दे। मैंने तो उसे एक थोड़ा साथ बात बोलने के लिए था, जो मैं बोल देता। क्या बोल देता? इनका सेवा करने में मेरा रुचि नहीं है, लेकिन आपका प्रसन्नता के लिए गुरु जी को मैंने लिखा चिट्ठी, मैं उनको सेवा करूँ। आखिर में जब उनको एक किया असुविधा हुआ तब फिर एक दफा नहीं, कलकत्ता में आया तब भी सेवा किया। गिर के कुमट्टू का उनमें भी सेवा किया। बाद में उनका एक आश्रम था यहाँ, तो देने के लिए इच्छा किया, गुरु जी ने दिया। एक स्थान पर दो एस्टेब्लिशमेंट नहीं करने, इसलिए वहाँ नहीं किया। अभी आप बोलो।
Hello, this. started mentioning that today is a very special day, the day of Vaishnav Sarvabhaum Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj's disappearance day. Shri Shyamananda Prabhu's disciple, Shri Rasikananda Prabhu. Today is his disappearance day also, the disappearance day of Shri Rasikananda Prabhu, as well as the disappearance day of Srila Bhakti-Dait Madhav Goswami Maharaja. So today, these three great personalities, they are having their disappearance day. Appearance and disappearance of Vaishnavas, both are auspicious if one does not observe, then it is considered offense. That's why Srila Maharaj, first he started speaking about Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. He mentioned that even though we have very short time, but still, maybe in brief, we will glorify all of them. So first Srila Maharaj spoke about Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, that how he is the one who ordered Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur to print Vaishnav Panjika, Navadvip Panjika, in which Vaishnav calendar, in which all the appearance day, disappearance day of the Vaishnavas and Ekadashi, Janmashtami, etc., all these tithis are been mentioned, so that the Vaishnavas, wherever they stay, they get opportunity to know that, oh, what is today, and by this they definitely observe the tithis. So because of the order of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he prepared this Navadvip Dham Panjika first time in Vaishnav history. So this is the contribution of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Secondly, Srila Maharaj mentioned that he is the same personality by whose mercy we are able to know the birthplace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was having so many historical evidences, but still he requested Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj to come at this particular place and confirm that this is the place of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or not. So he came, even though he was manifesting his sickness pastime at that time. At the same time, he was almost 140-year-old at that time. But still, because of the request of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he came to this place in Sridham Mayapur and confirmed at the place of Sriman Mahaprabhu's birth, Yoga Peeth. In such an advanced age, Srila Maharaj mentions that how he jumped from the basket in which his disciple Bihari Das used to carry him from one place to another place. He jumped from that basket and started dancing, and then jumping. Bihari Das, he was astonished to see this, surprised, and asked that, oh Babaji Maharaj, what you are doing? What is this Leela? Then at that time you don't see that all the associates of Sriman Mahaprabhu along with him, they are performing Sankirtan here. So Srila Maharaj mentions that he was able to witness this, he was able to see this, whereas ordinary people, they cannot see. So by this particular pastime, two things manifested through him. One, he confirmed that this is the place of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birth, and secondly, Adyapiyo sei leela kare gaura rai, kono kono bhagyavan dekhi bare pai. That Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, till today, all the time, he is performing his pastimes in Sri Navadvip Dham. Those who are very, very fortunate, they are able to see all these things. Nobody else can witness that. So in this way, Srila Maharaj, he glorified Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Then Srila Maharaj spoke about Srila Rasikananda Prabhu. That first he is disciple of Sri Shyamananda Prabhu. He was a personality who initiated, even though he himself took birth in a Brahmin family, but still he accepted Diksha from a person who was not born in Brahmin family to establish the real truth of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, that Jai Bhaje Sei Bado, Abhakt Heen Char, Krishna Bhakti Te Nai, Jati Kul Adi Vichar. That in Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Bhajane Nahi, Jati Kul Adi Vichar. That a person does not matter in which caste, in which country or in which place he has taken birth, in which line he came, but still if he is well versed in the truths of Krishna, then he is qualified to be Guru. So to establish this truth, Sri Rasikanand Prabhu took shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Shyamananda Prabhu. And afterward, Srila Maharaj mentioned that he was such a strong personality. Even though throughout his life, he showed his conduct as a very, very humble person, Vinay, very soft in nature. But one time it happened so that there were some opponents, those who were saying that, oh, he is not a bona fide person. Why? Because he has taken shelter of a personality who is not taken birth in Brahmin family, and he does not really understand the verdict of the Shastras and many other things. So then, even though philosophically they were unable to defeat him, then what they did, they sent one mad elephant to kill him. Like Srila Prabhupada at one place he mentions, whenever you start speaking truth, then 100,000 of obstacles and opposition will come. So in the same way, because he was following the true path of the Shastras, that's why what happened? Some people, they became so envious to him that by seeing that he is very influential person, many people listen him and believe him, even though it does not matter whatever they try, but still people believe Rasikanand Prabhu. That's why they wanted to take his life. And then they sent this mad elephant. So Srila Maharaj mentioned, even though Vaishnavas generally they don't show their opulence or their power, divine power, whatever you call it. So, but still, at that time, Rasikanand Prabhu, what he did, that just in a moment, by seeing this mad elephant, he like gave him mantra and turned him as his disciple, and that elephant even, he became completely surrendered and like did not do any harm. Even his madness gone away completely. So in this way, he showed his opulence. Not the power, but I wanted to say opulence. So in this way, Sri Rasikanand Prabhu showed the opulence of Vaishnavas, which generally they don't want to show. And afterwards, Srila Maharaj started speaking about his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Dait Madhav Goswami Maharaj. He mentioned that today, on this particular day, he disappeared in the morning, and then this was the same day when his body was being brought to Sridham Mayapur. And then Srila Maharaj, he mentioned that I became the nimitta, I became the cause of arranging for each and everything about his samadhi. And under the guidance of Srila Bhakti Hridaya Bhan Goswami Maharaj, under the guidance of some problem, under the guidance of it was on. So under the guidance of Srila Bhakti Hridaya Bhan Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Shirup Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Krishna Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. All these senior Vaishnavas were there, and under their guidance. How possible? He left in 68. Srila Madhu Goswami Maharaj left in 79. So, under the guidance of all these Vaishnavas, Srila Maharaj became the nimitta, the cause of performing all the ceremonies for the samadhi of his Guru Maharaj. And afterward also, Srila Maharaj invested so much energy for his samadhi temple. Not only for that, actually all the branches of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math was almost constructed under his direction, everything. So that's why Srila Maharaj mentioned that because I invested my so much energy over there, even though in this advanced age and having physical challenges, but still I was unable to resist to go to that place. That's why I visited that place, paid my pranams over there, paid my pranams to my Guru Maharaj Bhajan Kutir as well as the temple. And he returned from there. And afterwards Srila Maharaj mentioned, yes, two more things Srila Maharaj mentioned in between about Srila Rasikananda Prabhu. I will again switch to Srila Madhav Goswami Maharaj, but he mentioned that how Sri Rasikananda Prabhu's birthplace, he was able to reach to that place also by the mercy of Srila Sant Goswami Maharaj, and had darshan of his samadhi also, which is there in Khir Chora Gopinath temple in Remuna. Then Srila Maharaj mentioned how his Guru Maharaj, he joined the mission of Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in 1927. He took Diksha and did not join at that time completely. He was staying in Kolkata in a rented place. But from there, he used to work also in Kolkata. So whatever earnings he was having, most of the part of it, he used to buy different ingredients for the service of Thakurji as well as the service of Vaishnavas, and used to send to the mutt. He used to send everything in such a way that nobody can know that who is sending these things. So in this way, he used to send all these things. Srila Maharaj mentions that why he used to do that. He used to say that if you want to serve Hari, Guru and Vaishnava, then there is no need to announce it everywhere that, oh, I am performing this particular service. So in this mood, he used to send articles, send ingredients to the mutt. And then second thing Srila Maharaj mentioned, that he was having so much tolerance that I was attracted because of that at his lotus feet. Even though I used to associate with some devotees, but having not so much I used to serve the Vaishnavas, I used to help them in collecting funds also, but still I did not used to serve them with my heart. It was out of like, okay, they are sadhus, they are in need for some help, so I can help them. But not with real conviction of my heart that by serving them, I will get auspiciousness. I will meet with auspiciousness, not with that mood. But then, time to time used to visit Shyamanand Gaudiya Math in Medinipur also, where Srila Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Dait Madhav Goswami Maharaj and Srila Sant Goswami Maharaj, three of them, they used to stay most of the time and preach from there. So even though Srila Maharaj said I used to visit that place many times, but still I was never ever thinking to become a part of that family. Why? Because I took birth in a Brahmin family and I was having so many samskaras. Samskar means like impressions in my heart from the family itself, Brahmin family. Once in Jammu, Srila Maharaj was mentioning that we were there in Jammu and the picture of Srila Gurudev, Srila Swami Maharaj, our Param Gurudev, all these pictures were there on the altar, big pictures, because that's the place of our Gurudev. This Jammu, we have mutt over there, so that's why all these pictures were there, portraits were there. By seeing that, Srila Maharaj started mentioning that how merciful these Vaishnavas are, that they reached, they invested their energy for those people, those who are having no samskaras at all. They, like, he started speaking first about Srila Swami Maharaj, that how he went to the Western world, where people did not knew anything about Krishna, and where they did not knew what is sadachar, what to do, what not to do, but still they extended their mercy so much. And while he was expressing all these things, then he mentioned that Indians and Westerners, does not matter wherever one takes birth, each and every person is having some kind of samskar from their family. They may have samskar that they can stand on the box of Bhagavatam, or they can put tilak on their forehead while spitting on their hand for water, like spitting on their hand and using it as water and putting tilak on their forehead. But on the other side, I was having samskar. Even Indians are having so many samskar. I was a Brahmin, but I was having also samskar. What? That even though a Vaishnava may give Charanamrit, but I will not take. Why? Because this Vaishnava has not taken birth in Brahmin family. So why I take Charanamrit from his hand? I never used to step in the land of those who are like doing the business of oil, teli. Why? Because Brahmins never step on their land. So even though that place was in Dham, but still I refused, that I don't want to enter into this land. So in this way, Srila Maharaj mentioned one after another that how many different samskars I was having. I never used to take prasadam unless and until it is cooked by Brahmin Vaishnava. And I will not sit with the devotees where they take prasadam. Why? Because they sit in the same queue. Does not matter who is Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Shudra. So I will sit only by myself or only with Brahmins. Otherwise not. So in this way, Srila Maharaj mentioned I was having also many samskar, bad samskar, which took 11 years altogether to come across. So in this way, Srila Maharaj mentioned in Jammu also, then what if somebody else takes 4 years, 5 years, 10 years or 15 years to come out of their bad samskaras? A person like me who took birth in India, who knew who God is, who was taking Charanamrit from his whole life, because Maharaj mentions my mother never allowed us to give anything unless and until we take Charanamrit and perform parikrama in the temple where Shaligans were there. So, but still, these samskaras were also having some problems in it. So in this way, Srila Maharaj mentioned that my Guru Maharaj, he was so tolerant that what he did, that he arranged. He never told me that, oh, you should just take prasadam with everybody, it's not a problem. No, he arranged separate prasadam for me. He arranged a Brahmin cook who can cook in the mutt, and Brahmin pujari who can offer prasadam to the Lord, and then Brahmin person who will bring the prasadam to Maharaj in his room. So is it possible for person, such a senior person, that he can do something for a new person for 11 years like this? It's not so easy. And like not telling anything, but after like one thing after 2 years, another thing after 5 years, another thing after 10 years, he told in such a way that Srila Maharaj can understand the deep meaning of it, but without directly telling him. Like Srila Maharaj mentions that he never used to speak while taking prasadam. Then one day Srila Madhav Goswami Maharaj, he is speaking with somebody else, but indicating to Maharaj. And what he is saying, that even though Shastras, they say that, oh, one can observe complete silence while taking prasadam. It's written in Veda. Why it is written? That while you are honoring prasadam, prasadam is considered non-different from the Lord. So when Lord himself is present in the form of his prasad, his mercy, then without thinking about anybody else, you must focus only on him. That's why you are supposed to observe complete silence. So those who observe complete silence, even in this Kali Yuga, they are very great. But still, there is something which is superior than that. And what is that? That Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not prescribe this smaran, remembering Lord while taking prasadam. He prescribed the duty of all the living entities for all the time, 24 hours out of 24 hours, whenever they can, just stick to the chanting of the Lord's name, performing Sankirtan. So even while taking prasadam, if some topic comes related to Krishna, then why one is supposed to step back and become loser just by maintaining silence. So in this way, Srila Maharaj understood that, oh, yes, whatever he is saying makes completely good sense. It is also from the Shastras. So while he was for doing comparative study, then after some time he understood and then started speaking while taking prasadam. And then many samskaras, Maharaj speaks one after another. That one time what happened? That I was not able, I did not want to step at the land of Teli, this oil merchant. But still, my Guru Maharaj, he said that, oh, our Purvacharya, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he has mentioned that Gaur Amar je sab sthane karila brahman range, se sab sthan heri boami pranay bhakat sange. And Narottam Das Thakur, he has written Shri Gauda Mandal Bhumi, Jeva Jane Chintamani, Tar Hai Braj Bhume Vas. That this land of Navdvip is Jeva Jane Chintamani, it is made out of jewels. And Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj used to say that, oh, not for staying in Sri Navadvip Dham, if required, I can even beg from the house of those who eat dogs. Then what to speak of prasadam if it is given by the Vaishnavas? So by hearing one after another many detailed truths from his Guru Maharaj directly, Srila Maharaj mentions that knots in my heart cut one after another. That's why in the Shastras it has been mentioned, Tato Dursangam Utsrijya Satsu Sajjet Buddhiman Santa Evasya Chindanti Mana Vyasangam Uktibhi. That if a person is very intelligent, then what he does? He gives up the association of those who are not sadhus. Tato Dursangam Utsrijya. He gives up the association of non-devotees. Tato Dursangam Utsrijya Satsu Sajjet Buddhiman. And he always stays in the company of sadhus. Mana Vyasangam Uktibi. And these sadhus, what they do? By their words, they cut the knots what are there in our heart, which cannot be open. Like knot can be open also. But Srila Maharaj mentioned these samskaras, these knots, unable to untie. What is required? To cut it. So my Guru Maharaj was so tolerant that one after another, many years, even though I was unable to understand completely, but still with great tolerance, he made me understand the real truth. So it took me 11 years to really understand his mood and accept Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy completely. So in this way, Srila Maharaj mentioned this. Another thing Srila Maharaj mentioned, that what kind of tolerance he was having. Even though people, some of the devotees, they blamed him for many things. Because he was the second biggest collector of Gaudiya Math. First biggest collector was Srila Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj, and second biggest collector was Srila Bhakti Dait Madhav Goswami Maharaj. So when for some reason he was forced to leave Chaitanya Math, and he started staying in Kolkata with some of his disciples and started preaching from there. In a very short time, one after another, he was able to build many math, and many devotees, they started coming to him and surrendering his lotus feet. Then opponents, they started saying that, oh, he was the biggest collector. That's why I think he was hiding so much money earlier. And that's why it is possible for him to build mutt one after another. He was stealing lot of money from here. Srila Maharaj mentioned after hearing this, we did not see anything on his face even for 1 second, no reaction. He just mentioned, oh, whatever they are saying is beneficial for us. How? That people will not hesitate to give us loans. They will think that, oh, we are having so much money, we can give them loan easily. So in this way, he took it positively. And then Srila Maharaj mentioned that whatever used to come, he used to say, Tattenu kampa susmikshamano. Whatever comes, just accept that, oh, it is coming because I may have behaved wrongly earlier. That's why this thing is coming. Otherwise, nobody is my friend, nobody is my enemy. They only come as friend or enemy because of my own karma. In this way, Srila Maharaj mentioned that there were people who were opposing him for a long time, those who were always criticizing him, but still whenever the opportunity came, he served them. And he not only served himself, he forced us to serve them also. One time Srila Maharaj mentioned that I told him that I am not interested in serving one of your god brother. Why? Because he is very nasty. This is proper word? Nasty. Why? Because he criticizes you, he criticizes many Vaishnavas, he takes services from us, but still again he criticizes us. So why we have to serve him? So Srila Madhava Goswami Maharaj replied that, oh, because does not matter whatever his conduct is toward me, but because he is having firm faith in the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, that only one thing makes him qualify to be our object of service. That's why we have to serve him. And then Srila Maharaj mentioned that still I am not interested in serving him. Then he said that, oh, it will make me happy if you will serve him. Then Srila Maharaj mentioned, okay, for your pleasure I will serve him, but not from my heart. Then he said, still you can serve him. So in this way, Srila Maharaj mentioned, it's not that only he himself used to serve them, even he used to force us to serve them. So in this way, that was his nature. Then Srila Maharaj mentioned that how, when devotees, they used to come for Navadip Dham Parikrama, he used to say that, oh, because they are coming to the Dham, they want to get the blessing of the Dham, and we are having some capacity to stay and arrange some things for them. So whatever is possible for us, we can provide whatever facilities we can. Definitely, we have to serve them, even though seems like they are new, they are just coming to the Dham first time, but still they are our object of service. Why? Because they are having some faith for the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. That's why we must serve them. So in this way, he always used to say that we are having two worshipable objects, Vishnu and Vaishnava. If time comes when we have to choose only one, because our time is limited, our resources are limited. If we have to serve, we are able to serve only one, then what we will do? We will give up the service of Vishnu and serve only Vaishnavas. Why? Because serving them will definitely give pleasure to Vishnu. So in this way, he was having so much conviction for serving the Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada, he was being asked once by his disciple Paramananda Prabhu on behalf of all his god brothers that many Vaishnavas, they live in the mart. They perform many services since morning to evening, whose service is considered superior. Srila Prabhupada, in one sentence, he gave answer. And what was that? Does not matter how much one serves, how much physical labor, mental labor he does. There is only one thing, one barometer. And what is that? How much love they have developed for the Vaishnavas. According to that, their service will be considered superior. So in this way, Srila Maharaj mentioned that there are many things by which I have witnessed that how much love and affection he was having for the Vaishnavas, and how he used to extend himself so much for their service, that it was beyond our we cannot even conceive that how much one can extend himself. So in this way he mentioned many things, that during the time of Navadvip Parikrama, even though he was unable to provide many facilities, so some devotees, they used to say that you can only keep or invite few people to whomsoever you can handle properly. But he used to say that no, material external facilities are not the things which one is supposed to provide. Then and only then invite them or keep them with him. The real thing is that if I am having real love for them, that will be the thing by which they will be completely satisfied. And Srila Maharaj said, we have seen that people, because at that time that was the first place beside Chaitanya Math and Yog Peeth, that was the first math which was being constructed by Srila Madhav Goswami Maharaj in Mayapur. No other place was there till that time. So he said that whoever will come, we will serve them. How? Not only with material facilities, with the real thing which is there for the soul. If I will really love them from my heart, if I will really accept them object of my service, then does not matter whatever we will be able to provide. In whatever way we will stay, they will also stay with us. Nobody comes here to eat. Nobody comes here for facilities. Everybody comes here for spiritual nourishment. So we will focus on that first. Other things, whatever we will be able to provide, we will provide. It's not a problem. Then other time Srila Maharaj mentioned, he used to say that Navadvip Parikrama or Brajmandal Parikrama, it should not be commercial. It should not be commercial. He used to say again and again that let devotees come, let us provide whatever we can. They are object of our service, and by serving them, Mahaprabhu will become pleased with us. So in this way, Srila Maharaj mentioned many incidents are there, that how he himself engaged and how he engaged us also in the service of Vaishnavas all the time. Then Srila Maharaj made one more point, that in his Bhajan Kutir in Sridham Mayapur, he used to give us order that does not matter any of my god brother, if he comes, wants to stay for some time, long time, then always offer them my Bhajan Kutir first, that they can stay there itself, in my room, not at any other place. But if even after requesting long time, many times, if they don't accept, then you can give them other room. Otherwise, my room is for them. Why? Because nothing belongs to me. I am accepting this so that they can live comfortably here. So in this way, Srila Maharaj mentioned, when Srila Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Saurav Bhakti Sar Maharaj, Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, all these devotees, when they visited Bhakti Sarvasu Giri Maharaj, Srila Maharaj used to give them his Guru Maharaj Bhajan Kutir, and they used to live there. And from there, they slowly constructed their mutt. Srila Maharaj mentioned the name of Srila Bhakti Sharan Shant Maharaj also, whose samadhi just here. So all these devotees, they lived in his room. Why? Because it was a strict order by him that you should not think that I am your Guru and this room only belongs to me. All they are your Gurus. They are much superior than me. They are my worshipable object, but to speak of you. So that's why always considered them superior to me and serve them. And then Srila Maharaj mentioned that when he was forced to stay out from Chaitanya Math, still at that time he saw that that was also good. Why? He mentioned that because when I was staying in Chaitanya Math, then there were so many restrictions from the higher authorities, from the management, that don't bring so many people here, we don't want to spend so much money on them, why we have to give them so many facilities when they don't give donation, this and that. So now, because I am by myself, I can serve with my full heart to each and every Vaishnava, whoever comes. So in this way, I am becoming more independent to serve devotees with my heart. Over there I had so many restrictions. So this is also good for me, that I am able to serve more and more devotees. And then Srila Maharaj mentioned, by seeing his conduct, by seeing, like by his Harikatha, the way he was presenting to everybody, even those who did not want to provide facilities to the pilgrims, they were also forced and bound to give some facilities to the pilgrims. Otherwise, people were saying that what kind of sadhu you are, you don't want to take any pain for the pilgrims of Dham. So they also started parikrama slowly. And Srila Maharaj mentioned that how sometime he used to mention to his very senior god brothers, or those people who used to come from very wealthy families, he used to mention that even though I don't have so many facilities here, but still I will be obliged if you somehow can stay here. So his words were so sweet. His like non-duplicitous nature was so attractive to the people. Whoever came, they always wanted to stay with him, even though rain came and there was like all the area was wet, but still nobody left. And when he asked them that, oh, how you can stay here, it is better Yoga Peeth or Chaitanya Math, if you can move there and stay there, then they used to say that, oh, it is wet, so it is little better, because otherwise we were suffering from heat. Now this nature has made it cool and we are very happy. Even in those like rain comes or anything happens, but still nobody wanted to go. Such kind of attraction he was having. Srila Maharaj mentioned small, many other things, but I am feeling that it's late now. And then Srila Maharaj also mentioned that even though now we have spoken something, in the evening I would like to explain more things about my Guru Maharaj. So 7:30 he will be again speaking. Maybe we start Kirtan by 7 o'clock and 7:30 will again speak. Hare Krishna.